Hello comrades, yes it's me, a Yorkshireman, now living in Wales. Power to the people, and I hope everybody's okay. So comrades, today I'm going to talk about Economy 7, and that can be called all sorts. It can be the teleswitch, it can be radio transmission, signal, whatever you want to call it. I'm going to call it Economy 7, and that is where we get two tariffs. I'm on Economy 7, so for me, what it means at the moment is I know when I'm getting a cheap rate. So if I want, I can decide to, say, have a shower. I know it'll be cheaper. Put a washing machine on. I know it'll be cheaper. Or, quite often, my storage heaters will be charging up at the cheapest rate possible. Right now, for some reason, that's all going to change. And the people who are sort of managing all this are Ofgem. Ofgem are a public-funded body, commonly known as a quango. We fund them. Don't forget that. They have one job only, basically, and that is to make sure to protect us energy consumers. That's it. But we're the public, we fund them all. Do I think they're doing a good job? Well, let me take you through stuff and you decide. I don't think they are. As an offside, I then decided to look at some of their committee meeting reports. I looked about the last 4 months to see how many times the consumer or the public were mentioned. Now, did I find anything? I think I only found one. Yeah, one comment. The rest of it was just like a load of rubbish going on and on and on, going in circles, talking mainly with the suppliers. Yeah, nothing to do with us public, but we fund it all. Side issue, I know, but I felt I had to tell you that. So, bit of history lesson. So here we're going on here. As you can see in this article, stop the slides if you wish. 5th of September 2023, the BBC made the announcement. Longwave is coming to an end of its life as a technology. A BBC spokeswoman, a woman at that case, tells the BBC. Right, okay. They also go down to the bottom, if you look at the bottom of the paragraph, it also goes on to say customers should contract their electricity supplier at the earliest opportunity to be upgraded for a smart meter. Right, okay. Now that's interesting because there is no protections in place for people who've upgraded for smart meters because guess what, Ofgem, yet they've not really come up with any as yet, as I will evidence as we go through this video. Now what I find interesting is clearly the BBC, who are also public funded, seem to be taking away an important service because just under a million people are impacted by this. So why are the BBC really doing this? Now they're claiming that longwave is coming to an end. However, a little bit of digging on the internet and I found this by Radio Today. And it goes on to say, a report by this bloke, Dr. Tabbas Thorns, says you need to have a dramatic rethink on closing longwave down. Right, so what does he have to say? Well, he says contrary to BBC claims that longwave is outdated, energy intensive and has few listeners, he finds that the arguments don't add up. He goes on to say on energy, the BBC argues longwave is inefficient, but Thorne's analysts, so the report says, longwave uses just 4% of the BBC's analogue output. Right. However, FM networks use significantly more energy. Wow, up to 6 times more, due to the hundreds of transmitters required to reach the same audience. Also, it goes on to say, analogue radios, like we had as a kid, or I had as a kid, are far more efficient than digital radios and smart speakers. He also goes on to say it's not just about the environment. The report highlights the crucial role of longwave in national security. Now, genuinely, never made that connection. He goes on, in the age of cyber threats and misinformation, longwave remains the only platform that can reach the entire UK and much of Europe from a single transmitter, even during power cuts or internet outages. Now you would have thought that single reason alone would be worth keeping it. So it doesn't make any sense to get rid of this. So I'm going to go with this report. I then also found this from doing a freedom of information research. And I don't have to show you this, but it'll just show you the sort of the misinformation going on and how each party is trying to blame each other party. So as you can see, this is dated 27th of March 2024, and it goes on to say the Economy 7 service is not operated by the BBC, which it isn't. but by the Energy Networks Association on behalf of its members. Right. But then the BBC go on to say that they include the data provided to operate the Economy 7. Right, so they have a go in it, right? Now, it also goes on to say it has been announced that as the energy industry is moving to smart meters, they plan to close the Economy 7 service. Right, now that makes it all different. So which came first? The BBC saying we're closing the longwave service, or the Energy Network Association saying we don't want this anymore because we want to control people? So which came first? See? So can you really trust any of them? Well, clearly you can't. It don't get any better then. It also goes on to say that the BBC doesn't really benefit from this. Now, my understanding is actually the BBC get funding from all the energy suppliers for carrying on the network. So it doesn't really make any sense. So now what we've got is two different people saying it's not us, it's them, and then them saying it's them, not us. So you can't really trust anybody. But I needed to share that with you because I found it quite intriguing. Right, so then I came across by Ofgem a couple of letters. One of them is dated 19th of January 2024. Now remember, in September 23 the BBC turned around and said we're stopping this service. So it's taken Ofgem quite a while. It's even taken them longer if you look at the date of the second letter, which is 11th of Feb 2025. So they're not really like for the consumers, because this is something you'd think they would be on straight away. So within this letter, this one is about to the stakeholders about consultation. Now, I've said this before, if I'm funding something or you're taking my tax money or any other money from me, I am the only stakeholders. I am happy to argue with anybody that I am the only stakeholder in any public sector organisation, because a stakeholder is a person who has the main interest in it and puts all the money into it. That is us, the public. That is us, the taxpayers. But I didn't get a letter. I don't think just under 1 million people got a letter saying, what do you think about this? No. Ofgem actually, from what I can tell, they literally, we'll have it somewhere on the website, which I was going to look at that, and the energy supply is saying you need to get in touch with us. I've checked my emails, I didn't find anything, should I say, which made it clear, what do you think about this, Mr. Cook? Right, so what does this say then? So the bottom bit is interesting, or this bit here. So it goes on to say, furthermore, for those customers who do engage with their supplier and seek an update, we expect that electricity suppliers will take steps to ensure that these consumers, that's me, that's you, retain their Economy 7 tariffs. Right, okay. Or I provided a similar offering. So essentially I should still be able to get 7 hours at a cheap rate. That's my interpretation of it. Right, okay. Many suppliers have made us aware that the consumers are unlikely. Now unlikely is a rubbish word, isn't it? It's a word, oh, I'm looking outside, it's unlikely to rain today. Huh, right, it means nothing, does it? To experience tariff detriment. Huh, right, that's a nice way of putting it. Right, Ofgem then go on to say, however, we believe that suppliers should take all reasonable steps, now reasonable, it's a rubbish word, to offer a tariff that leaves a consumer no worse off. Now the word then is should, but the word has been replaced with must. However, in between all of this, Ofgem are producing leaflets like this before any decision has been made, as you'll see. And basically, you look at the first little bit here, and it's what I would call the old fear campaign is already taking place. Your heating, your water, hot water, it could all be affected, and you won't be able to send in a meter reading. This is fear. This is literally fear, and again, Ofgem haven't reached a decision yet, as you will see. So, and the decision is regarding consumer protection. Yet here they are, turning around and doing fear mongering already. Why is that? They're supposed to be on our side. They should be saying to us, we've not reached a decision yet, don't do anything. That's common sense. Because as a consumer, what are we always told? Don't sign anything, don't sign up for it until you've read it and understand it and agreed it. And I'll say we've all been through this already about misinformation, signing up for something we didn't really understand, and then the consequences have not been that good for many, many people. And I'm referring to that event which happened, I think, during some type of lockdown, not 100% sure. They also go on to then give the benefits of smart meters. Right, so what else have I then sort of found? Right, okay, so, right, and then I get to the proposal bit from Ofgem. Now this is where the word changes to must. Must take all reasonable steps to provide a tariff that leaves the consumer no worse off. So now must is a definite word. It's not should, could, maybe. It is a must. So this must happen. Right. Now, they've been doing this consultation, haven't they? So I then ask Ofgem, I wrote on the 26th of May to them asking them the question, can you please send the updated licence conditions or policy documents that stipulate this proposal as a condition, and it's a bit about no worse. Now, give them credit, I then got a reply on the 27th of May, and the bit I'm not happy about is it says here, now bearing in mind there's just over a month to go, I've highlighted it here, at present our consultation regarding the introduction of a new licence conditions to protect Economy 7 consumers from the risk of supply disputing, can't say it anyway, and higher bills is currently closed but awaiting a final decision. So I'll go back to my main point. Ofgem are happy for people to sign up for what will be long-lasting tariffs without any assurances about what's going to get and what they can get. So personally, I am literally not doing anything until I understand what I'm going to sign up for. Do I want a smart meter? No, I don't want a smart meter because A, I don't trust anybody these day and age because that trust has now disappeared. I certainly don't trust Ofgem because really when you think about it, what have they done? Well, let me just sort of take you through sort of some of the time frames. September 2023, BBC announced it, and it's only now, near enough 2 years later, give or take, that Ofgem have said, oh, we need to do something. I mean, that's so shoddy. Right, comrades, thank you for watching. Please leave a comment, tick, subscribe, and yes, I suggest my consumer advice to you is until you know what you're signing up for, comrades, don't do anything. Wait and see what the Ofgem have to say and give us advice and make an informed decision. Right, comrades, thank you for watching. Catch you on the other side and, well, have a good day.